Hey guys, Boomer here. I know that when Mrs. Boomer and I were camping back in May, and it was our 40th wedding anniversary, and we took the Goldwing and did 8 days and 7 nights, I told you that I would do a video on the Goldwing and kind of show you the updates, the upgrades, the additions that I've done to it. Well, today's the day. Nice lazy Sunday afternoon. I've been out riding and I thought about it, and this is actually my third attempt to make this video. It's very hot here. And the phone keeps saying I'm recording on my cell phone, and it says too hot to record. So I'm here in the shade now, and hopefully it'll work. Third time's a charm. Anyway, let me swing around, and there she is. Beautiful bike. Gosh, they don't get more pretty than that. But anyway, a couple things that I've done since getting her on the road. You can see that I put our road names on there. Of course, my road name is Boomer, and hers is Princess. She's my princess. And a couple of the other things that we've done is right here. Well, first of all, I put these armrests and storage pouches on there because every princess needs those. And I also put a little cup here for her. So again, princesses need their cups. And right under here, under the pouch, there is a little charging port that I've added, and it's flush mount. So it really doesn't stick into the top case. And I have it keyed power, so it only works when the key is on. What else have I done? Of course, power outlet, and got it at O'Reilly's, and the cover fell off already. Quality stuff. This is a RAM knockoff for the phone, but I tell you, I love these things. I have one of these on 3 of my 4 bikes. Do like it. This is, of course, my cup holder right here, which is very nice. There was a guy who was partying out in Aspencade about an hour from here, and I got several things from him for this bike. I've also added the voltmeter down here. A couple switches, one for the voltmeter, one for the running lights. I got these wind wings on here. And one of the things I found out after I got them, they're different shapes. If you can see that. I mean, they still work, but they're different shapes. And they're rusty, but I can take care of that. But I didn't notice they were different shapes when I ordered them off of eBay. Oh well, they work. I put different highway pegs on here. Those are nice, very nice. It just used to have like the straight pegs, kind of like those. But I went to more the floorboard style, and they're nice. I like those quite a bit. Some of the more expensive things that I've done to the bike, front forks, completely rebuilt with progressive springs. Now, I didn't do it. I have a mechanic up in Flint, Mike's Motorcycle. He did it, and that was not cheap. Probably the most expensive thing that I've done. I don't know if you can see in here or not. Can you guys maybe see an alternator? Yeah, I did the poor boy alternator conversion. Because in this bike the stator went, and as you know, the stator is inside of here. And to change that means the engine has to come out. So I opted for the poor boy. Works great. I haven't had any issues at all. Now, it tucks neatly below this lower fairing. But here's the thing. The radiator has to kick out at the bottom to make room for the pulley and the drive belt. So the trim piece that goes here, it doesn't fit anymore without some modification. So there is no trim piece there. That's about the only thing. She's in there and she works great. No problems with that at all. Now the other issue that I had, and if you have an 84 or an 85 Goldwing, you may have this issue as well. The wheel bearing on the rear wheel, left side, the rim is aluminum alloy, and they put a steel bearing in it, and over time it tends to kind of wobble out that recess where the bearing goes in. And the only way to repair that is to machine the hole and put in a steel race for the bearing to rest in, or you can go with an 86 or an 87 rim, as long as it has the drive flange with it, because the drive flanges were different. Excuse me, I'm swatting away mosquitoes. Horde of mosquitoes this year. So I went with an 86 rim, but you have to have the drive flange. And so now I have a different rim on there, but at least it's not going to be wobbly and dangerous in corners and stuff. So if you have a problem with the bearing, the rear bearing in your Goldwing 84 or 85, go with an 86 or an 87 rim. Just make sure it has the drive flange. Now, one of the more expensive things, of course, were tires, and tires aren't cheap. We went with Dunlop D404s. Now, I've got those on all of my other bikes. No issues. Have not had a problem with those at all. On the Goldwing, however, the rear tire, that D404, didn't last a complete riding season before it was down to the wear indicator bars. It's a heavy bike, so I don't know if I'd recommend the D404 for a heavier bike. So what we did is we went with the Bridgestone Excedra. That's touring tire, stiffer sidewalls. Hopefully going to get a lot more miles out of that. We just did that like 2 weeks ago. The D404 on the front, it seems to be riding very well. I mean, you can see that's, got it the beginning of last season, and we're halfway through this season, and it's still looking pretty good. So anyway, what else? So you can see, I don't know if you remember the story on this bike. My buddy Wayne got it. Let me swing around and tell you this real quick. My best friend Wayne got this bike and was riding it home, and he should have never been riding it home, and he admitted that. He said he should have trailered it because the tires were old, bald, hard. The bike had been sitting. But he decided to ride it home, and in a curve, he lost traction. He low-sided, slid into the shoulder and high-sided. And bang, this bike, oh, beat this bike up something terrible. Let me swing around. You can still see like the cracks here and right here. Big chunk was out, and here, right here. This was all busted up. And you look in here, you can see like right here and up here, you can see the epoxy. I use fiberglass on the inside. It's plenty strong enough, but you can still see the damage. And I decided to leave it that way because it tells a story. If anyone asks me what happened, I can tell them about Wayne, my buddy, who passed away from stomach cancer just a couple months after he bought this bike. This was the last bike he ever rode. In fact, up here, this is a piece of cremation jewelry. And inside there are some of the cremated remains of my buddy Wayne. So everywhere I go, Wayne rides with me. So I had to replace the mirrors, the windscreen. There's still a big crack in the dash glass here. I could replace that, but like the cracks over here, I'm just going to leave it. So there we have it. That's about all I've done. New tires. I completely redid the brakes. I put this chrome mud flap on here because I figured it would help keeping the debris off of here since I don't have that lower trim piece. I put in a halogen headlight, which helped tremendously. But those are the updates on the Goldwing. You remember I put the LED strips on these and on the side, and I put the modulator so that when I hit the brakes, these two flash, let people know I'm stopping. And that's this thing right here. Can you see? That's the modulator. Little tiny unit, and it's wired in, and of course the wiring goes, let me move this, wiring goes down here and goes through here and into the wiring harness. So that was a interesting, fun job that I did. It is so hot that these things are falling off. The tape is coming off. That's how hot it is. So anyway, there we are. My wife said we have to come up with a name, and she named this Goldwing the Princess Mobile. There it is, the Princess Mobile, because she is my princess. So there's the Goldwing, the things that I've done to it. I think that's about it, besides regular maintenance and stuff. Had that rear tire off a couple of times now. I don't want to do that too many more times, but it's not as hard as it seems. Oh yes, I've also changed the timing belts. And if you have any mechanical aptitude at all, not a hard job. So that's done as well. And those are the biggest problems with the gl1200s that I'm aware of. You've got to change the belts, and the stator can go bad. Well, three things, and of course the rear wheel bearing. So those are the three things, and they've already happened on this bike. We should be up and good to go. Anyway.